Hi parents, how's it going? Or should I say, hey mom, hey dad, if you haven't heard it in a while, because sometimes that's just the way life goes. But I want to talk about something I thought about the other day and it kind of confused about. And you can share this with your adult son or daughter if they have children. So, and I take notes, so I'm going to read my notes. So when your son or daughter are strangers, they usually take their children with them and cut them off, and that's it. Period. End of sentence. The relationship ceases to exist. No matter how much you beg, plead, cry, I'm sure your grandkids as well are totally confused. So they're not okay with their children being around you, their grandparents, but they're okay with them being around other people they really don't know. So they just met and got married and they have an in-law. And they don't really know their mother and father-in-law except through their spouse. But they allow their children to be around their in-laws. They allow their children to be around teachers. And if you've had your children in school, I've never done a background check on a teacher. You just assume if someone's a kindergarten teacher, they're A-okay, and that's just the way it is. They're allowed to be around neighbors, people at church, and daycare teachers, and a variety of other strangers. But they're not okay to be around you. And I can guarantee you, just like you and I, we don't do background checks on everyone our kids are around. And in fact, when, our kids go to school and they have friends, and we meet their friends' parents because they want to have sleepovers or go to birthday parties, we don't do background checks on them because we meet them and we think they seem like nice people and everything is A-okay, because if they're best friends and this and that, they should have sleepovers. We don't do background checks on them. And our sons and daughters are okay with their children being around everyone under the sun except for flesh and blood, their grandparents. So how does this make sense? Who's going to stop the insanity? Who's going to say to our sons and daughters, FYI, your parents, you might not agree with them, but they're really not bad people. If they raised you, and for the most part you may have been disgruntled about certain things, but if the police were never involved and could have never been called because they raised you with the least amount of force as possible, when it came to maybe you got spanked, or maybe your mom yelled, or maybe she was frustrated, or whatever the case may be. But if you can have your children around people you don't know and you weren't raised with, why wouldn't you have them around your parents? So, inquiring minds want to know. I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm just saying, think twice, because one day your children will find their grandparents and it's possible they will leave you and turn towards them, and it's going to be probably the first time you experience parental estrangement, and that's going to be probably the saddest day of your life. So anyways, that's what I wanted to bring to the forefront. So anyways, that's all I've got, and I will be back.